You can get started, Nana. 1 second.
Okay.
Yes, you can unmute yourself and then start.
Om. 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 Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadrusham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Shruti Smruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Chaiva Tato Jayamudirayet.
Nana, Hari Om.
Yes, please.
Before we start today's session, there are a few questions.
Yeah, we will answer those questions and go forward. Go to 397.
Okay.
I have a submission to all of you because the text we are covering through various readers is very profound. And when we keep on contemplating about Atma, we will have certainly some doubts. And all those doubts in a different format, in a different way, the various schools of thought are being, they are being projected, those doubts. So it is very necessary that we should obtain clarity in understanding. And with that in mind, I thought it fit to rewind a particular number of pages and start from there so that we gain the requisite clarity in understanding. That's number one. And also considering some readers have Wi-Fi problems and some others have problems of reading the Sanskrit text, I would suggest that the reading of this PDF should be limited to mostly Brahmara, and I will chip in a little to the extent I don't get into any coughing fit. Okay. I thought you will be okay with this.
Yes, no, nothing should not be a problem.
Okay.
One more, yeah. So some questions that cropped up were.
1 minute. This the 397. No, this is 397.
This is actually 398 because this starts with a new subheading.
No, go to 397, please.
Okay. This is 397.
397, and you go up a little, roll it up. Yeah, here. Therefore, alone or combined, karma is not a means for moksha. Yeah, we'll start looking into the questions.
So these Purva Pakshis, they who exactly are they? Are they contemporaries of Shankara, or are they part of the followers of the different other angas?
Yes.
There are shadangas for the Vedas, no?
Yes.
Nyaya, Vaisheshika.
Okay. Any other
now,
question?
yeah, there are quite a few questions relating to this, the Purva
Hmm.
Pakshis. So they're all
Now, I'll,
part of
I'll tell you.
Veda. Mm,
Wait a minute, Brahmara. With these in mind, the
mm,
Purvapakshi, the Purva Mimamsaka, etc., these different schools of thought, I thought I owe all of you an explanation as to what these are. There is
mm,
another intention why I am rolling these
mm,
backward. Okay, I'm rewinding this by a few pages. There is another intention. Plus, there have been some technical words used, like like dosha, different kinds of doshas. Okay, pratyavaya dosha, etc., etc. There is some kind of an explanation required in respect of those, which I would certainly render. Okay, so the first part of your question is kind of answered. I'll take it up as the text comes.
okay.
Your next question.
Other questions. So they're all part of the Veda,
Hmm.
which is, and from my little understanding, all these Shadangas are different ways of looking at the same truth, same reality.
Okay, okay, all
Okay.
right.
In which
Okay.
case, what Shankara is propounding is the Advaita philosophy, which
Hmm.
mainly the Uttara Mimamsa, the Vedanta, the Upanishads are propounding.
Yes.
Now, all these have come temporarily well before the Bhagavad Gita was given by Bhagwan to Arjuna.
Not well before. No, 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 no. The Shadangas were there, but
Huh.
Shankara was not there.
Shankara was not there.
These kind of
I'm not talking of
opponents of
Shankara.
these
Hmm.
opponents of Vedanta who are posing questions to Shankara, they
Hmm.
were also not there during the time of the Gita.
Hmm.
But they have been there even prior to the Gita. Like they have been there means in the sense the Sankhya Shastra by Kapila
Hmm.
was
Hmm.
there even ahead of the Gita Shastra by Kitaya. That
Correct.
I see.
Huh.
So
So,
some of the Shadangas they
hmm.
have been there quite early, even
Hmm.
before the advent of Gita.
Hmm.
Okay, but not these people who object and who raise a point and things like those
Correct.
have kind of contemporaries of Shankara, you can say.
Shankara. But they were following that particular, like Sankhya school of philosophy, or
True.
Vaisheshika school, or Nyaya school. So, in effect, they are like different streams reaching the same destination. Am I right
No,
or no?
no. They had different points of view regarding presentation of the truth.
Mm,
They had looked at truth from different angles and there was distortion.
mm,
Like, for instance, the Sankhya Shastra of Kapila, he does not accept the necessity of an Ishvara at all. There is no Ishvara for him.
mm,
It is only Prakriti and Purusha.
mm,
And he does not explain who is that Purusha. From the Vedantic parlance, that very Purusha is Ishvara, which he does not grant. That
mm,
is, when it comes to Patanjali, he was supposed to be a Shishya of this Kapila Muni. And he also started propounding the Anishwaravadam of the Sankhya Shastra. But he was kind of rebuffed. And because of that, I believe Patanjali Rishi made amends and he has started Seshwaravadam. That is,
mm.
together with Ishvara.
That is why there is Ishvara Pranidhana in one of the
Exactly.
one of the yamas.
So those are things. This Vaisheshika and all that, this Vaisheshikas by Kannada,
Mm,
this is supposed to be a rishi in the southern India, maybe Karnataka more likely, and he has propounded some kind of atomic theory,
mm,
and in that he propounded something, and he said that is how it is. Which all these theories have some holes in them, and
mm,
that is what Shankaracharya has pointed out. The greatness of the teaching of the Gita is very cleanly expounded by Shankaracharya to all these schools of thought. Shankaracharya was such a Catholic in his approach in dealing with these various schools of thought. He never for once got annoyed with their process of thinking, objections. He understood the objections, and there is some valid reason for their objections, and he has answered all those very succinctly, very cleanly, and very lovingly. He has done that. That Adveshta Sarvabhutanam he has exhibited in abundant measure in dealing with those objections by various schools of thought. These various schools of thought, it does not mean that they have propounded the truth nicely. No. In their understanding, the truth got distorted. Okay. Any
So
other question?
Yeah, a very basic. I know it's a mundane question, but in all of these Purva Pakshis, all the different schools of thought versus Uttara Mimamsa and what Shankara's thing is, how does a student who's just exposed to Vedanta, who's just exposed to this teaching, know who is correct? Shankara also is in a way putting down his he's giving his arguments for the objections, like the others are. How does a student pick up who is the one who is true?
Okay. Now,
I don't know whether I got my question across.
Yeah, I got your question right. Okay. And maybe this question came up during your Manana session. That is why I was quite unwilling to barge into your Manana session. But these days I have been using one half an hour of that session. But beyond that, it becomes sacrilege. Because all of you have been discussing various points of view, which are very good to discuss. That is how the Manana session should go on. And I'm happy all these questions came up during the Manana session. See, as the PDF going to be read between you and I, it is going to reveal the clarity and the truthfulness of the various argumentations, various objections, and various responses. It is not as though Vedanta only is right. How Vedanta is right, you will understand as a discerning person, as a person who uses his intelligence appropriately. You will understand, you will grant, yes, this is right. My God, how is it I have not understood this? With that in mind only, I have deemed it fit to rewind a few pages because I thought we should not miss out those. There is some clarity of understanding of all these vital issues. Then only we will profit from the Gita. Otherwise, when we keep on contemplating about Atma with various Shastra Vakyas, our doubts will keep on bothering us. And all those doubts are expressed in different ways by these various schools of thought, which are very nicely answered by the Vedantin in Shankara. That is what we have to appreciate. As we go by, now we are in the 397. This goes up to some 550 pages. But the document you are projecting here, it says some 214. In the 214, we may be in the 25th or so, 25th page or so. So that means we have so many other pages to go by. And all those pages will reveal their clarity with which we can understand who is right. It's not a question of sitting in judgment as to who is right. It's a question of understanding the tattva. It is a question of understanding the truth as it is. And as it is includes the Shastra Vakyas, Upanishad Vakyas, and Gita Shastra Vakyas. Anything in opposition to these Upanishad Vakyas and Gita Shastra is not accepted at all, because that's the starting point for you. No matter what school of thought you belong to, you will have to conform to explaining away the Shastra Vakya adequately. That's the point.
Thank you, Nana. So the last one is when we say Shastra, Shastra Vihita Karma, Shastra, we need to go according to Shastra. What is the Shastra we are meaning? Is it the Vedas in general?
It is a Veda. It is a Veda.
In which case, even these Upangas, the Shadangas are part of the Vedas, isn't it?
No, no, they are not.
They are not part of the Vedas.
They are not part of the Vedas. The Shadangas are apart from the Vedas, but they are kind of supplementary to the Vedas. Okay? The Shadangas are what? Sankhya is one.
Nyaya, Vaisheshika,
Nyaya,
Sankhya, Yoga,
Vaisheshika. Okay? Then Jyotisha, then Vyakarana, Chandas.
Those are the Upavedas, no?
These are not the Upavedas, these are called the Shadangas. Okay. The 6 other limbs, which kind of are supportive of the Veda. That's how. Okay?
Okay.
There are other Upavedas. Upavedas, in that Ayurveda becomes a part of the Upavedas. Okay, Natya Shastra becomes a part in the Upavedas. Okay.
Right.
Now, can we start?
Yeah. So when we say Shastra, it means Veda, which includes also the Vedanta.
Yes, and the Gita.
And the Gita. So Vedanta, isn't it the same as Uttaramimamsa, or is it different?
It is same. It is not Uttaramimamsa. Vedanta, I'll tell you what. As we go by, when that word comes, I will explain.
Okay. Fine.
Okay, when that word comes, I will explain. That explanation will stay with the listener.
Okay.
If it is appropriately treated, it will stay in understanding. Okay?
Fine. So what I'll do, you take a little break, I will start, and then maybe you can chip in later. You're already having a coughing fit.
My dear, I will start slowly. Okay? I have already prayed to Kitaya to give me adequate strength not to cough. Okay. And when I start into a coughing fit, I will automatically hand it over to you.
Okay.
Okay. And should you find any difficulty in reading a Sanskrit text, I've got 2 suggestions. Number 1, you hand it over to me. Number 2, whenever that big text comes, there is a footnote indicated. That footnote gives you the Sanskrit of the transliteration.
Correct. I can read that.
You can easily read that.
Right.
These are one of 2 ways of handling it. Yeah. Hari Om, everybody. I suppose you are okay with my rewinding this? Please pardon me. I have come back to Hari Om ji.
We are lucky to have you, Nanaji.
Oh, thank you so much.
No, you know what we need. And we are giving.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. See, I request all of you not to worry regarding our having to complete this task. We'll easily complete. It's not a big problem. I'll tell you another secret. I was to leave for India on the 8th of this month, which got postponed. And I will be leaving for India towards the end of the month. Okay, up to another couple of weeks plus, I will be here in Phoenix. Afterwards, I will be in California before I leave for India. So all the time is with us. And the time in California also is devoted for your pleasure. So don't worry that we will miss out something on this.
We are lucky.
Yeah, thank you. I am lucky. I have got some good set of listeners. It's not easy to get by. It is not easy to get a good Shrota. Not at all. and all of you have been very, very studious, very, very sincere, and you have been on time for everything. I must say, it's all Kitaya's blessings on all of us. Yeah, I'll start. Therefore, alone or combined, karma is not a means for moksha. This is what? Who said this?
This is what Shankara is saying.
Shankara is saying, okay? Because the earlier proposal by the opponents of Vedanta, I'll tell you who are all those opponents of Vedanta, is that there are three ways of obtaining moksha. One is by karma alone, another is by jnana alone, another is by jnana karma samuchaya, combining these two. A little bit of karma, a little bit of jnana, etc., etc. That will be possible to understand what is moksha, to obtain moksha, so to say. So that is being refuted. Therefore, alone or combined, karma is not a means for moksha. Alone means karma alone, or combined means combining with the jnana. Karma is not a means for moksha. But why are we doing all this karma? And this karma means the karma we are talking of. The other day I was telling you that Mrulani madam raised a very good question. Is not acquisition of knowledge also a karma? It's a wonderful question. It is indeed a karma, but it's a manasika karma, whereas this karma what we are talking of is a Vaidika karma as given through the injunctions of the Veda Vakyas. Okay, these are the activities you have to undertake. These are the activities you shall not indulge in. And if you by mistake indulge in those activities, these are the activities like prayaschitta karma, to atone for whatever wrongs you have done in undertaking the nishiddha karma. All those things are Veda Vakyas. Okay, that is in the karma kanda of the Veda. Okay. Therefore, karma alone or combined is not a means for moksha. Karma that is talked about here refers to the karma enjoined by the Veda. When this is the status of Vaidika karma as a means for moksha, what is the status of any other karma as means for moksha? Karma of any kind does not have the status of being a means for moksha. Yeah, please roll it up. Nor does karma combined with knowledge, jnana. Okay, that jnana karma samuchaya, not possible. Some people talk of this kind of combination, a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of karma brought together to produce moksha. They argue, giving the following example to support their contention. This is where I thought the clarity of understanding is required, because the objections raised are by people who are by themselves well-meaning. They have studied the Veda and they were adherents of the Veda Vakyas. They have a lot of astikya buddhi and they're all pandits. It's not, they're not mere ordinary souls. They may have understood it differently, not truthfully. That is different. But they're all great people.
But
They
Nana,
argue.
here, 1 minute, isn't this what is talked of in Karma Yoga? You follow karma along with following jnana. How is that different from what this objection is?
It is not jnana karma samuchaya. It is not jnana karma samuchaya. You have to follow. You see, I'll tell you what, all your questions will be answered before we go to the 550th page or the 214th page. All doubts will be cleared.
Fine.
Right? Because all these doubts you are expressing now, and you may have some other unexpressed doubts, all those things are going to be part and parcel of this document. And the answers thereof also will be part of this document. So I would request all of you to patiently go through whatever is being read. And if you have any doubt regarding whatever is being read, please raise a question. Now, they argue, giving the following example in support to support their contention. They say that mere betel leaf will not turn your tongue red. There must be lime and betel nut along with the betel leaf. Only then the red color will be produced. Similarly, neither mere knowledge nor mere karma will produce moksha. They must be combined. That is their argumentation. Looks very plausible, isn't it? Looks like.
Yeah.
Let us see what will really happen if one does combine them. The karma will produce its result, but that will be adrishtapala and will not fructify in this birth, but in some other later birth. On the other hand, knowledge gives moksha here and now as drishtapala. Knowledge is vastutantram, whereas karma is purushatantram. The meaning is, supposing I go to the garden and I look at a flower. When I look at a flower, I look at, say, rose. When I look at the rose, what is the object? What is the vastu?
Rose.
It is the rose. But this is the first time I have seen the rose. I did not know its name. I did not know its qualities. But my friend, like you, has given me adequate knowledge. Hey, look, you did not know rose? This is called rose. And there are different varieties of roses. And most of them give a wonderful fragrance. This has got petals. These petals are very, very soft. And this rose will wither away. When it is plucked from the plant, it will wither away in a few hours' time. When it is left on the plant, maybe it will stay for a couple of days. This, when he gives me the knowledge of that vastu, which is the rose, I have picked up that knowledge of that rose. Did I pick up the knowledge of a jasmine flower?
No.
Can I have the knowledge of any other flower? I can have only knowledge of that vastu which I have achieved through the sense organs and through the mind, which listen to my friend saying, this is this, this is this. That is what is meant by saying any knowledge is vastu tantram. Now the vastu we're talking of is Atma. That vastu is not visible to you, unlike the rose. But that invisible Atma is being propounded by the Vedanta Vakyas, Upanishad Vakyas. And that is becoming a pramana for you to understand what is Atma. Pramana means a means of knowledge. Like you have been my friend to describe the rose to me, of which I was ignorant till then. You have become the pramana to me. Whatever you said became the pramana to me, based on which I picked up the knowledge of the rose. The knowledge of the rose becomes the vastu tantram. It is dependent on the vastu. It cannot be any different from what the vastu is. The knowledge of Atma cannot be different from what Atma is. It cannot be the anatma knowledge. Okay? Whereas karma is Purusha Tantram. Purusha means the Vyakti, you and I. Okay? Because karma, you can do karma. Kartum Shakyam, you have the capacity to do karma. Akartum Shakyam, you have the capacity also not to do karma. You have the capacity to do also differently. Anyatha va kartum shakyam. So this is kartu tantram, purusha tantram. Any karma is purusha tantram or kartu tantram. Kartu means karta. Karta's tantram. It is dependent on the karta. Whereas the knowledge of the object cannot depend on the karta at all. Because I am the king of the land, I can't say this is not rose, this is jasmine. Nobody will accept. I'll be treated as a Tuglak. It cannot be other than the Vastu Tantram, knowledge of any object. That is the meaning of this. That is with all these kind of things, I thought as we read the text, I will have reason to explain. Even if one were to assume that the adrushta phala of the karma will produce moksha, it will be only in some other later life and not now in this life. If this is so, that is, if you pursue knowledge, you will get moksha now in this life itself. And if you pursue karma, you will not get moksha now, but in a later life. This is the answer given by Shankaracharya, assuming that the objection is as though right. He is not accepting that objection, but as though right. That jnana karma samuchaya, that is impossible, is being treated here. Okay. Where is this? If you pursue knowledge, you will get moksha now in this life itself. And if you pursue karma, you will not get moksha now, but in a later life. Who would be interested in that kind of a karma? And perhaps at the most, since he is doing good karma and has started pursuing knowledge, in the next birth he will be pursuing pure knowledge. Lord Krishna assures us that he will not come to a bad end, bad lot, and will pick up the thread and continue in the next birth. Nahi kalyana krit kaschit durgatim tata gacchati. This occurs in the 6th chapter. This is what I was mentioning to you, Brahmara. This one is there, no? Where is this kalyana kaschit? That one here, that one.
Yeah.
That is a footnote. Whenever you have a doubt regarding the transliterated Sanskrit, you can go to the footnote and that will be easier reading for you.
Fine.
Further, knowledge, which has moksha as its result, does not require any assistance from karma. It is true that mere knowledge of the means for gaining heaven will not give heaven. Like that Jyotishtoma, whatever is prescribed in the Veda, in the Karma Kanda, the Veda, after having known, that will take you to Swarga. With that knowledge, you can't go to Swarga. You have to do the Jyotishtoma Yajnam. Okay? It will not take you to heaven. And karma also, if it is done without the know-how, cannot produce the proper result. Only if the karma is backed by knowledge and then practiced, the desired result will be gained. But when moksha is the result, it is not like that. Knowledge does not require the help of karma, because knowledge itself is moksha. Ajnana kalusham jivam jnanabhyasat vinirmalam krutva jnanam swayam nashyet jalam katakarenuvat. The Atmabodha slokas, please all of you get them by heart. I'll tell you the upamanas given there are almost out of the ordinary. That's one thing. Secondly, they are in our Swanubhava. In our workaday world, we know whatever simile Acharya Shankara has given. They are very well known to us. They are very well known in the 7th century AD and 8th century AD when he written that. Even now they are valid. And whenever you have any doubt, you refer to that and that will give you a blessing clarity. Okay. An argument is made that if one person is trying to lift something and another person comes and helps, the lifting becomes definitely easier. See, these are very valid arguments. But what is to be understood is this lifting in respect of Atma, that Atma Vidya, what kind of a lift you want? And the lift is to whom? To your mind. Somebody else's karma or your own karma. How does it lift your mind? All these things will be answered here. Okay. I must stop explaining, otherwise we'll get stuck here. An argument is made that if one person is trying to lift something and another person comes and helps, the lifting becomes definitely easier. Or even though moksha is gained by knowledge, Perhaps karma will make it easier. We negate both these possibilities and say, no, knowledge does not combine with karma at all in any manner. There is no connection between one. There is no connection because one is born of a means of knowledge and is centered on the object to be known, Vastu Tantra, while the other karma depends entirely upon the will of the person, Purusha Tantra. This is also called the Kartu Tantra. Kartu means karta. Knowledge is going to be as true as the object. It cannot be different. Knowledge is going to be as true as the object. Where does karma come into picture? Okay. As jnana and karma are opposed, they cannot be combined. Moreover, knowledge is totally opposed to karma. What does knowledge do? It removes ignorance, which is the very cause for karma, the very ignorance that is necessary for karma. Once knowledge has removed the cause of karma, how are you going to do karma again? Karma implies a doya. What does knowledge do? First, it destroys the notion that I am the doer. When that is gone, who is going to do karma? And for what? Only when the sense of agency is removed is there moksha. Sense of agency means that you are the karta. That aham karta bhavana, if it is knocked out, then that is moksha. And knowledge alone is sufficient for that. Yeah, you take over for a few pages, Brahmara.
Okay, Nana. Knowledge is opposed to karma because it removes ignorance, which is the cause of karma. Therefore, knowledge that results in moksha does not require karma. What is the individual role of karma and jnana in attaining moksha? Please understand the point here. We do not say that karma is useless, but we only say that karma is not the direct means for moksha. When we say that knowledge is the means for moksha, it is like saying that heat is the means for cooking. Without it, there cannot be any cooking. That does not mean that I'm saying that you do not need fuel. It is just that the fuel does not cook, the heat does. When I say that moksha is accomplished by knowledge, I mean it in the same way when I say that cooking is done by fire. As you require to gather fuel and other things for cooking, you also need to prepare your mind through prayer, attitude, etc. for moksha. All that comes in quietly here. Nothing is really dismissed. We can include yoga or any other discipline, even diet. They are all aids for the preparation of the mind. And the preparation can be very elaborate because of what is at stake here. Only 1 in thousands even gets interested in moksha, it is said. And among those who get interested, only 1 among thousands makes the effort. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye. Of those, who gains knowledge? The one who is prepared. And what is the preparation? It is purity of mind, antakarana shuddhi. Suppose you want to earn $1 million. It is not an easy thing, even in America. But here, what is at stake is to be infinite. For that, you have to give up everything, not just one thing. First, you must give up your past, all that happened to you, all your depression, and all your problems. Then you have to give up anything you have at present. And once you have given up everything, you have to give up the feeling that you have given up everything. Yena tyajasi tat tyaja. If Brahman is limitless, there is no way to gain that. You have to know, I am Brahman. What is at stake here is not an ordinary thing. And yet, there is nothing at stake here because there is no gambling. You are already Brahman. Nothing has to disappear. Nothing has to appear. There is nothing to be given up and nothing to be reached. All that is required is preparation, which is easy once you have ascertained what you really want. Purushartha Nischaya. Giving up everything is only in the form of giving up of ignorance. Tyagena eke amritatvam anasuhu. It is giving up my sense of owning anything. Because in owning, etc., there is a smallness. That is how the whole past is given up. Parentage is given up. The concept of male, female is given up. The concept of young and old is given up. The concepts of strong and weak, skilled and unskilled, educated and uneducated, being a doer, karta, or an enjoyer, bhokta, are all given up. What is moksha? Moksha is nothing but giving up. All the way it is giving up. Or it could be acquiring, gaining. Let us put it in the form of acquiring. I am the sun. I am the moon. I am space. I am time. I am the earth. I am everything. I am the past. I am the present. I am the future. Everything that is going to come is myself. Indra is myself. Varuna is myself. Ganga is myself. Yamuna is myself. The Mississippi is also myself. Isn't the Rudram the same thing? It says everything is me, everything is.
Yes, yes.
Correct? Whether you give up everything or acquire everything, it is all the same. Either way, it requires preparation. Like fire requires fuel, we require a mind which ignites when the knowledge is unfolded. The fuel should not be wet. It should be dry, and to keep it dry, we do varieties of things. Everything that we do for this purpose is useful. Prayer is useful, as is anything that we do to fix up our mind. This is called sadhana. We are not tired of it, and we keep doing whatever that has to be done. That word, sarva, all, has to be understood here because there is a complete negation of karma in this passage. We have to know exactly what is said here. It is responsible learning and responsible teaching. The vision must be very clear. As I told you before, when I say that by eating 3 times a day, you are not going to learn Sanskrit. It does not mean that if you give up eating, you will learn Sanskrit. When I say that karma will not give you moksha, I mean it because it is not a matter of the result of our karma. It is something that is already accomplished. Siddha Vishaya. I have to know that I am Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. And that knowledge is moksha. It does not mean that I should not do karma or that I should not prepare myself for that. That is not what is said here. And Krishna has already talked about karma in the previous verse. Manmanav bhava. There he repeated what he had said earlier. Whatever you do, please do it as an offering to me. Yat karoshi tat kurushva madarpanam. The context here. Here that jnana nishta, which is sannyasa, is being discussed. And that is a different topic. Karma will not help here. We all know that light and darkness are opposed to each other. If I am in a place that is totally dark and I ask someone to bring some light and he brings a burnt out light bulb, how will it help to illumine that place? You have to bring in light. In the same way, knowledge and ignorance are opposed to each other. And karma, being a product of ignorance, is not opposed to ignorance. Therefore, Shankara says that just as darkness cannot remove darkness, karma cannot remove ignorance. Therefore, knowledge is the only means for moksha. The idea is that karma, being a product of ignorance, cannot remove ignorance. And removal of ignorance is moksha, freedom, because Atma is already free.
Brahmara, can you read that footnote 2 in Sanskrit?
Yes. Nahi tamaha tamaso nivartakam ataha kevalam eva jnanam nishreyasa sadhanam iti. Nahi tamaha tamaso nivartakam ataha kevalam eva jnanam nishreyasa sadhanam iti.
What it means is, this darkness cannot remove darkness. Nahi tamaha tamaso nivartakam. So too, kevalam eva jnanam nishreyasa sadhanam. For the moksha sadhanam, it is only knowledge. Because this karma, which is a byproduct of tamas, ignorance. Karma is a byproduct of tamas. How can it remove knowledge? Megha paye amshumaniva in Atma Bodh. Megha paye amshumaniva. What kind of karma you want? You want only the help of Vayu to remove that cloud. And when the cloud is removed, is the sun produced? Is the sun newly produced? For you to see the sun, till then you have not seen the sun because the cloud cover was there. Because the cloud cover was there, can you negate the existence of the sun? Same here. Moksha is the only thing that is there. It is a siddha vastu. It is already accomplished. You just need to know that. You have not known, so you have to make a beginning to know. And making a beginning to know, karma yoga is required. That kind of a fuel for fire is required. The fuel for fire, karma yoga, will be for jnanam. Okay.
Yeah.
You have to go up.
I think I finished this. No, karma cannot. Yeah.
You have to go up to the second footnote. After that, you have to start reading. Oh, you completed reading up to here.
Yeah, this is over.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Okay.
Yeah, someone to bring some light. Yeah, I finished this one. Removal of ignorance is moksha, freedom, because Atma is already free. Vedanti stand. This is the conclusion of a Vedanti. Without any help from karma, even in the form of upasana, meditation, knowledge alone is capable of giving moksha.
One minute. This is the time that I should explain what is Purva Mimamsa, Purva Pakti, Uttar Mimamsa, etc. See, Veda has as though two portions. One is the Jnana Kanda, the other is the Karma Kanda. Karma Kanda is a massive thing. It's huge. Maybe 90% of the Veda is the Karma Kanda. Maybe only 10% of the Veda is the Jnana Kanda, which abounds in Upanishads, right? Right. Now, people have written a lot of sutras on the Jnana Kanda as well as the Karma Kanda. That which is done for Karma Kanda is called the Purva Mimamsa. Mimamsa is a kind of dissection of the truth and arriving at the truth without any distortion, that kind of a thing. That Purva Mimamsa, the author is supposed to be Jaimini Maharshi, who is considered one of the disciples of Bhagavan Vyasa. Okay? Jaimini was the author of the Purva Mimamsa. That is, he has written some sutras regarding the Karma Kanda. The first sutra in that Jaimini Sutras, Karma Kanda Sutras, that is Dharma Sutras, it says, I believe, Adhato Dharma Jignasa. Thereafter, you must entertain Dharma Jignasa. You must entertain your unfathoming efforts to understand what is Dharma. Jignasa means Jnatum Ichuhu Jignasa. Okay? What is Dharma? You must get to understand. That is how the Jaimini Sutras, they start. And they go on for a length of time. Whereas Jaimini is supposed to be the Shishya of Vedavyasa. And it is attributed to Vedavyasa regarding the Uttara Mimamsa. Uttara Mimamsa is what? The Brahma Sutras. The Brahma Sutras. Okay? Brahma Sutras start like the Jaimini Sutras. Adhato Dharma Jignasa, the Jaimini Sutras. Whereas the Brahma Sutras will start with Adhato Brahma Jignasa. The Karma Kanda, it says Adhato Dharma Jignasa. Here it says Adhato Brahma Jignasa. There Adhato Dharma Jignasa. Dharma means karma. Dharma means karma. Any dharma can be accomplished only through some karma. Whereas this Brahma Jignasa, it's a matter of trying to know through your mind. Manasai Vedamaptavyam. Only through the mind you have to know this. And in the Taittiriya Upanishad, it says you cannot know through this mind. You cannot know through this mind means through a dirty mind you can't know. So you will have to cleanse the dirty mind to render it pure enough for conforming to the Veda Vakya, which says Manasai Vedamaptavyam. Only with the mind you can know this. Neha nanasti kinchana. There is no bhinnatvam in this. And manushyanam karanam bandham cha mokshayoho manaha eva. For bondage and freedom, the cause is only the mind. With a dirty mind, you are bound. With a clean mind, possibility of knowledge taking place in the clean mind is very great. And that is how you will come to realize you are never bound. That is the notion that you are bound. And when the notion, which is born of ignorance, is knocked off, you are as though free. Upanishad says you are always free. You have to just know that. There is no creation of freedom at all. It is only knowledge of freedom. And that knowledge will happen when you conform to the Shastra Vakya and contemplate on that. In this context, if you recollect, I was giving you an example regarding one British officer and Ishwara Chandra Vidyasagar. You remember that?
Yes.
Now, when that British officer realized on the dais that the person whom he employed as a coolie on the railway platform is indeed Ishwara Chandra Vidyasagar, to felicitate him, he has come there. What karma was involved in knowing that he is Ishwara Chandra Vidyasagar? Is there any karma involved? But like that Mrunalini madam said, there was a karma involved. With your mind you have appreciated, there is a karma, I grant that. Apart from that, what other Kaika karma is there? What other Vachika karma is there? It is only Manasa Vyapara. that knowledge occurred in the mind. Oh, my God, I've insulted this great son of India, my God. And he apologized. And that's how it is. That is how Jnanam takes place. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was the coolie. This British officer did not know. Ajnanena avrtam jnanam tena muhyanti jantabaha. Because of ajnana, because of ignorance of who indeed Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, this British officer who can't be faulted at that time, because he was ignorant of who is Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. But the moment he came to know, that was knowledge. Megha paye amshumani va. Amshuman was not created. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar is not created. He is there. He was there. That's how. Yeah.
Anaji, Mimamsa means analysis, no?
Which one?
Mimamsa
Mimamsa.
means
Mimamsa.
analysis.
Yeah,
Analysis.
it is a kind of an analysis. An extensive analysis is Mimamsa.
Mimamsa.
Kind
Okay.
of a
That is what
dissection. Yes. And Purva Mimamsa is regarding the Karma Kanda. Uttara Mimamsa is considered Vedanta. Okay? Uttara Mimamsa, that is the Brahma Sutras. And I forgot to mention, this Jaimini Sutras, Dharma Sutras, there was a Bhashya rendered on them, like Shankaracharya and various Acharyas have rendered Bhashya on the Brahma Sutras. Bhashya on the Brahma Sutra was rendered by Shankaracharya. Much later to him, there was a Bhashya rendered on the Dharma Sutras, Jaimini Dharma Sutras. And that Bhashya is by a person known as Sabara. His name is Sabara. And he's supposed to be the elder brother of Vidyaranya Swami. And Vidyaranya Swami was the head of the Sringeri Mutt in his later life. And he took to sannyasa when he was nearly about 90 years old. And this Vidyaranya Swami was the prime mover, prime cause for the Vijayanagar Empire. That Vidyaranya Swami is supposed to be the younger brother of that Sabara Swami. That Sabara Swami has made extensive bhashya on the Jaimini Dharma Sutras. Like Shankaracharya has rendered the Brahma Sutra bhashya. Yeah. And another thing, all of you should know this kind of a truth. When did we people, okay, we people means our ancestors, your great grandfather, great grandmother, when did they come to know the existence of the Gita, the veracity of the Gita, and the immensity of the Upanishads, the knowledge in them, and knowledge in the Karma Kanda of the Veda? You know, when did we come to know? We came to know.
Shankaracharya maybe, no?
No. Shankaracharya has rendered his commentaries long back. But those commentaries are existing. People came to know some 3-4 centuries back. They were there, but nobody touched. They were there, but nobody touched.
I think it is Dara.
Yeah, we came to know. You know, who is the German philosopher?
Euler, not you.
No.
Max Muller.
Max Muller, very right. Okay, it started with the advent of Max Muller. He took a special interest to unfathoming the truths of Vedanta, etc. And when the transatlantic telephone call was made the first time, you know the words used, the first set of words used in the transatlantic telephone call, it is one mantra from the Rig Veda. It is in praise of Agni. That is because of this Max Muller. Then only we came to realize the greatness of our scriptures. The scriptures have been there. We did not know them. We really did not know them. But the beauty of all this is, even though our great ancestors did not know the existence of scriptures, they have lived a life which was extremely dharmic. They have lived a life which is very well loving the other person. Whereas, in spite of knowing the scriptures, we are given to a lot of infights, lot of quarrels, lot of hatred, all these things. It's not a matter of understanding, it's a matter of understanding and living what we understood. That is required. Yeah, go forward.
I think, Nanaji,
Yes, please.
there were bhakti movement, like Santa Tukaram, Jnaneshwar, and all that.
Yes.
They might
Yes.
have brought this.
These people have come a few centuries back.
Oh,
If I'm
before
not
that.
mistaken, yeah. If I'm not mistaken, these belong to perhaps the 17th century.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All these belong to the 17th century, etc. Whereas
But-
Shankara Bhashya was there in the 7th or 8th century AD.
No, means before Max Muller, these people
Yeah.
might have brought up, and that is what I'm talking.
Oh, maybe so. What I'm saying
And
is,
there were many Swamis also, no, in
I agree
between.
with you. I agree with you, sir. What I'm saying is, no, but the general public came to know after Max Muller, etc. This Santa Tukaram, Santa Jnaneshwar, etc. All these things were known to people in those localities who were close to Santa Tukaram, Jnaneshwar, etc. People who are removed from them, they did not know anything at all.
Yeah, I
So,
agree. Okay.
you got my point? All over the Mahabharata, people came to realize that these, my God, immense scriptures are there we have not known. Even Mahabharata was not known as a text as it is available now. It was there. But nobody touched. That's how it is. That is how it is, the life. But the greatness of this land is Mahabharata. The greatness of the land is people have lived a wonderful life, especially in olden days, some 2-3 centuries back. People lived in tremendous harmony, no bickering, no intention of doing any harm to the other person, always accommodative, always loving, always going along with whatever the other person has said. That was an extremely harmonious community living. And these days, with such a lot of fund of knowledge, we are at loggerheads with each other. This is a very, very perplexing thing.
What you're talking
It is-
of, is it the same as the Saraswat civilization in Indus Valley, where they followed the ancient, the Vedic life of living?
No. That Saraswat civilization, it was kind of limited to the bit of that western belt near Karnataka. Okay, adjoining the Arabian Sea, that stretch of land, that is the Saraswat. And this Saraswat is talked of in Mahabharata by Vyasa Maharshi. This is talked of in Mahabharata, but that is limited to only a small stretch of land. What I am saying is, all over the country, Ase to Himachalam, from all over, from the southern ocean to Himachalam, from the eastern belt, Ganges, or even beyond, up to the Arabian Sea. The entire area that Mahabharata came to know after the advent of, maybe that is one of the good things that the East India Company have done to us. There have been scholarly people who have taken a tremendous interest in our scriptures and our culture, and they have really done a very good pioneering job. Yes, go forward.
Nanaji,
Yes, sir.
did Max Muller come to India and get this knowledge, or did he get it in Germany?
I believe he came to India. I believe he came to India, and after having seen the way of life in India, he vowed, I believe, if there is another Janma for me, I would like to be born in Mahabharata.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you. Because a lot of our scriptures have been taken by the Germans, I don't know when, and I believe they are all there in the German libraries now.
they are doing good work, much better work than what we have done. And you know, there are 1 or 2 universities in Germany
Sanskrit.
which have a chair for a professor of Sanskrit. In Germany, there are a couple of
Yeah.
universities where there is Sanskrit professor. Okay. Yeah. Go forward, Brahmara.
Vedanti stand. Vedanti here is Shankara's stand, right?
Vedanti, Shankara. That is Uttara Mimamsa.
Hmm.
Uttara means afterwards. Purva means prior. Purva, prior. Uttara is afterwards. Like in the Ramayana, Uttara Kanda. That is the last Kanda. That is the 7th Kanda of the Ramayana. Uttara Kanda. Okay.
Vedanti stand. This is the conclusion of a Vedanti. Without any help from karma, even in the form of upasana, meditation, knowledge alone is capable of giving moksha. Then why do we not call the pursuits of man as dharma, artha, kama, and jnana instead of dharma, artha, kama, and moksha? We do not do so because the value is only for moksha, not for knowledge. Then how is this moksha connected to knowledge? One is the means, the other is the end. There is a sadhya sadhana sambandha. Knowledge is the means for moksha. What is produced, of course, is in the form of knowledge alone. The knowledge that I am Brahman, I am fullness, Ananda. At the same time, the end sought after is moksha. And the means is this knowledge. Therefore, we have to connect that moksha and knowledge as the end and means. And it is with that understanding that Shankara says here, the only means for moksha is knowledge. It does not require any help from karma. Purva Mimamsaka's objection, the basis of his objection. Here, an objection is raised by a karma kandi. In his view, the whole Veda talks about karma. In his literature, there is a collection of sutras written by Jaimini, which deals with dharma, also called karma. An important sutra there says that the Veda is only meant to enjoin karma. And because of that, statements that do not have that meaning, that is, those that are not connected to an injunction, are useless. I'm going to read the footnote over here. Amnayasya kriyarthatvat anarthakyam atadarthanam tasmad danityam uchyate. Amnayasya kriyarthatvat anarthakyam atadarthanam tasmad anityam uchyate. This is a Jaimini Sutra of Purva Mimamsa. This is the first sutra in the Atharvavada Adhikarana. Here, the sutra itself is a Purva Paksha, raising an objection that any statement of the Veda that is not connected to a Vidhi is useless. And in this Adhikarana, Jaimini answers this by saying, those that are not connected to a Vidhi directly are to be interpreted as Atharvavada.
Ardhavada.
Ardhavada.
Ardhavada, that is a kind in
Vada,
praise
yes.
of that.
So, therefore, a statement like Atma is Brahman is also useless for him because there is no injunction, Vidhi, over here. If we point out that this kind of statement,
Did you understand this here?
yeah, that means anything that is there from the Veda has to have a Vidhi as a ritual or some karma associated with it.
Otherwise, it is only in praise of that.
In praise.
It is in passing. It is not to be worried about. Atma is Brahma, you need not worry about it. This Atma, which you are, Pratyagatma, is Brahma, and that is in praise of that. You need not do anything about it. And you keep on doing the Veda Vihita Karma, nothing else is required. That is the contention of the Purva Pakshi. Purva Pakshi means, Swapakshi means, Pakshi means, the Paksha is what? The side.
Side.
Okay? Side. Pakshi is not the bird here.
Yeah.
Swapaksha is your own side. Your own side means the Vedanta side. Okay? And Purva Pakshi is what? The one who is on the side of the Purva Mimamsa. Right? Yeah.
So this Purva Mimamsa does that also include Sankhya, Yoga, and Nyaya, Vaisheshika and all? Or
They are different from Purva Mimamsa.
okay.
They are Shadangas. They are separate. They are kind of supportive of the Veda.
Okay.
Okay.
Because we learned that Purva Mimamsa is also one of the Shadangas. That is why I was asked.
No, not really. No. The Shadangas, if the Shadangas are 6. If I remember right, one is the Sankhya, another is Vyakarana, another is Nyaya, another is Vaisheshika, another is Jyotisha, I think, and the 5th one is
What we learned, Nana, is Nyaya. What we learned in our yoga classes is Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, Yoga, Purva Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa. These were the Shadangas that we were taught.
No, Purva Mimamsa, Uttara Mimamsa are not part of the Shadangas at all. The Shadangas include Jyotisha, Vyakarana or Chandas. I don't know whether they are two separately given or together one. That is one. Jyotisha is there and Sankhya is there. Nyaya, Vaisheshika, etc. These Uttar Mimamsa, Purva Mimamsa, they are not there.
Okay.
They are after the advent of the Vedas. And the Shadangas have been there earlier. This Shadanga, even before Jaimini is Purva Mimamsa, Sankhya was there. Sankhya by Kapila was there. They're different. Okay.
Therefore, a statement like Atma is Brahman is also useless for him because there is no injunction, Vidhi, here. If we point out that this kind of statement is a statement of fact, they argue that it is not the purpose of the Veda to give statements of fact. Its purpose is to help you avoid dukkha and to gain sukha, for which it tells you, do not do this or do this. The whole Veda should be viewed only as do's and don'ts. It should ask you to do something, which is a vidhi, or it should ask you not to do something, which is also a vidhi. But it is not going to say water is H2O, because that is not the intention, tatparya of the Veda. If Atma is Brahman, let it be. How does it help you? Even though Atma has been Brahman all this time, you still have desires and are busy fulfilling them. To say that Atma is Brahman is like saying that the body weighs 150 pounds. That itself does not give you any result. The statement of fact has to be connected to a prescription for it to be useful. The Veda is interested in making you do something or avoid something so that you can get some sukha or avoid dukkha. This is the contention of the Mimamsaka. Though there are different schools of Mimamsakas, the Prabhakaras and the Bhattas, they all maintain that karma gives you moksha.
These Prabhakaras are supposed to be in South India, whereas Bhattas, that Bhattas are what? Kumarila Bhatta. You must have heard about that.
Varanasi.
Person's name, and he is supposed to be the guru for Mandana Mishra. Mandana Mishra, who later on got converted into Advaitic school of thought and became the disciple of Shankaracharya. And when Mandana Mishra became the disciple, Mandana Mishra was supposed to be pretty old, maybe 60 and beyond, and Shankaracharya was not even in his 30s. Shankaracharya lived up to 32. Incidentally, some lady asked Mandana Mishra, this Sureshwaracharya, was he head of any mutt? Yes, he was the first head of the Sringeri mutt, I believe.
Okay.
Yes, madam.
As moksha is nitya.
Mandana Mishra only is Suresh, no? Acharya?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, okay, thank you. Yeah.
Mishra and Sureshwaracharya are the same.
As moksha is nitya, even jnana.
Brahmara,
Yes,
this
Nana.
Prabhakara is supposed to be a kind of a vile character. Okay, a bad character, who was contemporary of Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya had, there is the Prathama Shiksha of Shankaracharya is who? Padmapada. That Padma. Yeah, you're listening now?
Yes, Nana, listening.
Yes,
The
yes.
Shikha was
Writing down.
Padmapada.
Yeah.
Was Padmapada. And Shankaracharya originally wanted Sureshwaracharya to write a Vartika, so a commentary on the commentary on Shankaracharya's Brahma Sutra Bhashya or whatever. Then this Padmapada was protesting, I believe. I was your first Shishya, and this Mandana Mishra, this Sureshwaracharya came very lately. Why are you favoring him? Then Shankaracharya said, I believe, okay, Padmapada, you do that. And he has given to Mandana Mishra, the Sureshwaracharya, some other assignment. This Padmapada, he has rendered that, and after he has rendered the Vartika, he came and recited that Vartika to Shankaracharya, I believe. Later on, Shankaracharya went away someplace, Padmapada went away someplace. After a few years, they again met. At that time, this Padmapada confessed to Shankaracharya, I believe, that because of Prabhakara and his associates, the Vartika, which was in his uncle's place, that was gutted. And for that, this Prabhakara and his associates were the cause, I believe. Those were the days when because of your religious beliefs and things like that, you became very fanatic. That is how it was. This Kumarila Bhatta, I believe, he happened to defeat the Buddhas in their argumentation. For that, I believe, he happened to as though take to Buddhism. And after having lived in their monasteries and things like that for some time, he picked up the threads of what are their styles of argumentation, and using that he's defeated them. And because of that, he has done Gurudroha. Gurudroha, he wanted to immolate himself. He wanted to immolate himself in Varanasi, and he has arranged a heap of sawdust, and he was in the center of that sawdust and asked his associates to set fire to that. At that time, Shankaracharya happened to accost him and asked him, "What is this you are doing?" At that time only, this Kumarila Bhatta requested Shankaracharya, listen to what Shankaracharya presented in his Vedanta approach, and requested him to convert Mandana Mishra into his clan. That is the story of this Prabhakaras and Bhattas. Yes. Go forward.
You know, I'm amazed at your clarity, Nana. You say it, you bring out these stories and these anecdotes with so much of clarity, which is so good.
No, what I'm saying is, this is what, see, what little you read, if you like it, you tend to remember. If you don't like it, you will forget easily. See, like a novel, you have picked up and read a lot of novels. Can you narrate the essence of any novel to anybody? Whereas what little you have read of Ramayana and Mahabharata, that is so absorbing. What little you read, you will remember and you will narrate it to others. Yeah. Hey, go forward.
As moksha is nitya, even jnana cannot produce it. An objection. One of these Mimamsakas does agree that moksha is not produced by karma. He accepts that moksha is always available because if it is produced, it will be lost. However, even though moksha is already accomplished, still we have to take care of karma. We have varieties of karmas and we have to ensure that they do not perpetuate. He's saying here that the state of moksha is disturbed by our karma. That means they are parallel realities. Even though the Atma is eternally liberated right now, it is disturbed because of karma. And the karma alone produces further birth, janma, etc. So, if you take care of karma, you have taken care of moksha. Look at this argument. According to him, moksha is eternal, nitya. We also say the same thing. But he argues that because it is eternal, it cannot be gained by knowledge. If it is gained, then it is not eternal. But moksha must be eternal, and therefore it is not available for production by knowledge. If knowledge is the only means for moksha, what is the place of vihita karma? He also has another problem. If moksha is gained by knowledge, and that is with reference to the daily obligatory karma, nitya karma, and those that are to be done on certain occasions, naimittika karma. If you get moksha by pure knowledge, then the result is gained right here, drishta phala. In that case, you do not need to do any karma. Therefore, nitya and naimittika karmas need not be done anymore. That he cannot accept. Why? If a person does not perform obligatory karma, nitya karma, he will be incurring the fault of omission called pratyavaya dosha. And omission can cause problems. As it is said, a stitch in time saves 9. Suppose, for instance, you do not take a shower. Nothing is accomplished, but it can cause problems for you and for others. This is the argument of this person who is committed to karma. If you are incurring the fault of omission, there is going to be a consequence of that. And you will have to be born again to experience that. Therefore, there can be no moksha through knowledge alone. Therefore, even after gaining the knowledge, one has to do nitya and naimitika karma. They can never be given up. This is the contention of the Mimamsaka.
That is the Purva Mimamsaka.
Purva Mimamsaka.
Yeah.
Purva
That Pratyavaya dosha is understood, no?
Yeah, it is like the
That is
example
what
given.
Shastra Vihita karma, by not doing, you will incur sin. That sin is called Pratyavaya dosha. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, maybe you have time for another para.
Yeah. So this Pratyavaya dosha is not papa, but it is
It is Papa.
papa only.
Yeah, it is Papa. Dosha is Papa.
Hmm.
Pratyavaya dosha is Papa.
Okay. Purva Mimamsaka's contention, not doing Vihita karma will give Pratyavaya dosha. The obligatory karmas, Vihita karmas, are enjoined by the Shruti. It is legitimate for him to bring this up because we are dealing within the realm of the Vaidikas here. According to you, he would tell us, the Veda says that Atma is Brahman and knowing that is moksha. Therefore, knowledge is enough for moksha. Being followers of the Veda, we have to analyze what the Veda says and do what is enjoined by the Veda. And the Shruti definitely enjoins us to do certain karmas every day, like Agnihotra and others on special occasions like Shraddha. When they are not done, Papa will be the unseen result. This is called Pratyavaya technically. Since the karmas we are talking about are enjoined by the Veda, they have to be done. If you do not do them, you will be incurring papa, which will result in a painful experience later. That means you will have another birth, and therefore there is no moksha. The mere knowledge, I am Brahman, is not going to help you. You may think that you will not be reborn until you find yourself somewhere else because you did not do your daily enjoined karmas. Thinking that you are not the performer of any action because Atma is not an agent, that is, it is akarta, you will give up all the enjoined karmas and are free. This is a pipe dream. You will end up later in one of those undesirable wombs. This is the Mimamsaka's contention. Then moksha will not be possible at all. Shankara's counter objection. Shankara answers him. If there is no moksha by knowledge, there cannot be any moksha by karma either. Once it is acknowledged that moksha is eternal, how can it be produced by karma? If there is no moksha by knowledge, and there is no moksha by karma either, there is no possibility of gaining moksha at all. In this view, the pursuits of a human being are only dharma, artha and kama. There is no moksha at all. The problem, however, is that this Purva Mimamsaka also has to talk about moksha. Everybody, whether he is a Vaisheshika, a Nyayayika, a Sankhya, a Buddhist, a Muslim, Christian, or anybody else, accepts moksha and ultimate end. Everybody has a definition of it, and everybody has to talk about it. There is no way to avoid a consideration of moksha. And if it is eternal, it has just been eliminated by these arguments. If moksha is eternal, it cannot be produced. Thus, according to him, by karma there is no moksha, and by knowledge also there is no moksha. Then what will produce moksha? If you remove causes for rebirth, moksha being nitya will automatically take place. The Purva Mimamsaka's neat plan. By doing nitya karma, you can avoid pratyavaya.
Brahmana, I
Yes,
think
ma'am.
it's 8:30 now.
Yeah,
I think, you have come to the beginning of another para.
yeah.
I think we'll
404.
call it a day here. We'll continue tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay? Tomorrow, I think we can make reasonably greater progress than we have done today.
Yeah.
Okay?
But your explanation was all good, Nana. They brought in a lot of clarity.
Is it not? That is required. Otherwise, it will be like newspaper reading. It does not help.
Yesterday we read all this and I had all these questions about the Mimamsaka and all that. It was really nice of you to explain it, Nanaji. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. See,
Really, it cleared many,
I tell
many
you that
doubts.
the greatness of these Zoom classes is the attentive nature of all of you. The willingness to know is there in every one of you. That is really great. You can't really get those things. Such a lot of shrotas you can't get at all. It's a blessing. Yeah. Brahmara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nana, Dr. Renu
You
says,
make a note of the page in Nana.
yeah, 404.
404 under para. Okay.
Yeah.
You're saying something?
Dr. Renu wanted me to read what she wrote. She says, Jnana ke swarup hai hamare Nana ji.
No, nothing. I'm a simple commoner. Okay. I'm an ajnani like all of you. And each one of you is striving to get rid of that ajnana. That is all. In a collective way, we are making an effort. May Kitaya help us to have the effort become successful. That's all we can pray. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramayaha. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti. Hari Om, everybody.
Hari Om, Nanaji. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Hari Om.
Hari Om Nanaji.